kinematics, we notice moving objects. The study of motion of bodies not considering the cause of motion is called kinematics. The study of motion of bodies not considering the cause of motion is called kinematics. Here we come across two terms, two words, motion and bodies. Motion and bodies. Let us try to understand these two. To understand the bodies means a lorry, a car, a bicycle, a person, an aeroplane. Like this, any object can be considered as a body, a stone. We represent this by a point in a figure. In a figure, we represent it by a point. So, we have to imagine that it is a point-sized object. To understand motion, let us recall what we have studied in mathematics, the number line. Let us recall the number line in mathematics. In the figure, a number line is shown. On this number line, there are numbers. 0, +1, +2, +3 and -1, -2, -3, etc. Now, we take from left to right as positive direction and right to left as negative direction. Though the quantities are taken as +1, +2, +3 from 0 to the right and -1, -2, -3 as negative quantities from left of 0 to the left of 0. But in fact, the direction from left to right is taken as positive and the direction from right to left will be taken as negative. The number line can be used to represent the position of a body. Suppose the body is at x1, that is at +6, and it moves to +12, that is x2, from x1 to x2. The initial position of the body is say x1 and final position is x2. Initial position is at +6 and final position is at +12. So the displacement of the body is 12 minus 6, that is +6. That means it moves from x1 to x2, that is in the positive direction from left to right. So its displacement is positive. Suppose another body moves from -3 to -8. Another body moves from -3 to -8. So x1 is -3 and x2 is -8. Therefore, the displacement of the body is x2 minus x1, that is -8 minus of -3, that is equal to -5. So its displacement is in the negative direction. Like this, we can determine the displacement of a body. So whenever we talk about positions and displacements, we have to imagine a figure like this. Distance and displacement. Suppose a body starts at O, goes to x1 and turns back, comes to x1 prime, and then once again turns back and comes to O. Starts at O, goes to x1 and then back to x1 prime and then to O. Then the distance travelled from O to x1 is 6 units. The distance travelled from O to x1 is 6 units. From x1 to x1 prime, it is 9 units. x1 to x1 prime is 9 units. x1 prime to O is 3 units. So the total distance travelled is 6 plus 9 plus 3, that is equal to 18 units. 18 units. It has started at O and reached O. So its displacement is 0 because it is at the starting position. displacement is 0, but the distance traveled is 18 units.